In this lecture, we're going to try to understand how we can make a patch request. Now, people quite often confuse post with patch or don't really understand the difference between them. And what I want you to get from the start is that this really depends from API to API. There's no rule that all APIs need to respect. Some APIs only implement put and allow you to do any kind of updates on a resource, while others are, let's say, more strict and use put only if you update the entire information, and with a patch you only update some information, only some fields. So in the case of Crocodile, you can only update the name without providing the age and other information. So let me show you how that is supposed to work. As you can see here, the endpoint is absolutely the same, and we're going to jump into Postman and understand how this is working. So for this request, I'm going to simply go ahead and select here patch. And let's go ahead and remove everything that is in the body here. So right now we don't have a valid token anymore. So let's quickly grab a token. So this is the login request. I'm going to copy the access token and go back to our patch request in the authorization and replace whatever we have here and send it once again. And what I want you to notice here is that in the body, we don't have anything. So we haven't specified anything, which means we haven't updated anything. So essentially all fields for this API with a patch request are optional. So we can decide, for example, hey, I only want to update some information. So for example, I only want to update the sex. So we can only specify here one field without having to specify all other fields. So in this case, you see here, with the patch request, we have updated only a specific field. So in a nutshell, this is kind of like the difference between put request and a patch request. With a patch request, we're only updating part of the information. Okay, so let's go ahead and try to get this request to work also in case 6, and I can assure you it's relatively trivial. So jumping back to case 6, let's make this a bit smaller, and we can still work with what we have here in terms of the put request, but because things are not going to be very, very different. So let's go ahead and take this code as it is right now, and we're going to put it here just one line below, and we're going to transform this put into a patch. And again, with patch, we can check again that the order is the same. So we have the URL, we have body, and then we have params. The URL, we have here the body. So in this case, we can remove any other information that we don't want to update. So in this case, we are only going to update the sex. And here we're going to keep authorization and everything else. So we should be pretty good. Let's run it and see if it looks also good in terms of the logs that are being generated by case 6. We're going to take a look here at the last request that we have sent. This is a patch request against this endpoint. And what we're getting back is a status 200 OK. And we're going to see here again reflected in the response. And we're going to see here that the sex has been updated. And this is essentially what we wanted to do. Pretty easy, right?